Ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly attract women, while others struggle to even get past the first date? What if I told you that it's not about looks, charm, or fancy pickup lines, but about knowing these simple secrets? Stick around, because today, I'm revealing the 12 powerful ways to make her not just like you, but truly want you. But before we begin, please do well to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Citadel, turning on the notification button to keep getting updated every time we post an insightful content such as this. And don't forget to tell us where you are watching us from in the comment section below. 1. Know how to offer direction without dominating. Many men make the mistake of giving advice too freely. But women don't always want your solutions. They want empathy first. Giving unsolicited advice can feel condescending and send the message that you don't think she can handle things herself. Instead, only offer advice when she asks for it. Be the guy who listens first and supports second. That's the kind of guidance she'll respect and value. One of the most underrated yet powerful traits in a man is knowing when and how to give advice. Many guys fall into the trap of thinking they're helping by jumping in with solutions. But what they don't realize is, sometimes, a woman just needs to be heard, not fixed. There's a delicate difference between leading and controlling. A woman is drawn to a man who can guide with grace, not dominance. She respects a man who can listen deeply, validate her emotions, and only offer his perspective when it's truly needed. A couple, Sarah and Daniel, had been dating for a few months. One evening, Sarah came home visibly upset from work. Her boss had criticized her in front of her team, and she was feeling humiliated. Daniel, trying to help, immediately said, "Well, maybe if you had finished the project earlier, that wouldn't have happened. Next time, just speak up and defend yourself." Sarah fell silent. She wasn't looking for a fix. She was looking for comfort. She wanted someone to say, "That sounds awful. I'm so sorry you went through that. Do you want to talk about it?" The conversation ended with her feeling even more alone. Daniel meant well, but he missed the moment to connect emotionally. Contrast that with another night, a few weeks later. Sarah had a rough day again, and this time, Daniel simply sat next to her, wrapped his arms around her, and said, "I'm here. That sucks. Do you want to vent or just cuddle for a bit?" That was it. No lecture, no advice, just presence. And you know what? That moment did more for their relationship than 100 pieces of advice ever could. So if you want to stand out and truly make a woman feel seen and valued, remember this. Give advice only when it's asked for. Listen more than you speak. Let her feel heard, not judged. 2. Treat her like a lady. Yes, chivalry still matters. Simple gestures like opening the door, pulling out her chair, or walking on the outside of the sidewalk still speak volumes. These aren't outdated behaviors. They're small signs of respect and care. Men who naturally show this kind of attention to detail are the ones women remember. This might sound old-fashioned in today's modern world, but believe me, chivalry is not dead. In fact, it's one of the most attractive qualities a man can have, when it's done with authenticity and respect, not for praise. Treating a woman like a lady doesn't mean she's weak or incapable. It means you value her. It's the small things: opening doors, walking on the side of traffic, offering your jacket when she's cold, pulling out her chair, or even just looking her in the eyes and listening intently. These little acts of care send a powerful message. You matter to me. Emma had been on a few disappointing dates. Guys who were either glued to their phones or treated the evening like an interview. Then she met Alex. He wasn't flashy or overly charming, but from the moment he picked her up, she noticed the difference. He opened the car door for her, not in a robotic way, but with a warm smile that said, "I've got you." At dinner, he pulled out her chair and didn't scroll his phone once. When they walked down the street after dinner, he gently switched sides so he was between her and the traffic. She hadn't said a word about it, but she noticed. Later that night, Emma told her best friend, "I don't know what it was. He just made me feel so safe, so respected, like I was worth slowing down for." That feeling stuck with her, and so did Alex. They're married now. You see, it's not about grand gestures or over-the-top romantic acts. It's about consistency in the little things that show you're mindful, considerate, and genuinely care about how she feels. So if you want to make a woman feel like a queen, remember, it's not about showing off, it's about showing up. Respect is romantic. Kindness is powerful. Chivalry, when genuine, never goes unnoticed. Because when a woman feels honored in your presence, she'll crave more of your energy. And that's the beginning of something real. 3. Keep your temper in check. How you treat others is a strong indicator of how you'll eventually treat her. If you're constantly angry, impatient, or rude, she'll assume that behavior will eventually be directed at her. Be the man who knows how to stay calm, even when frustrated. Emotional maturity is incredibly attractive. But a woman doesn't expect you to be perfect. She doesn't need a man who never gets angry or frustrated. But what she absolutely needs is someone who can control his emotions, especially when things get tense. Your temper speaks louder than your words ever could. If you're quick to snap, slam doors, or lash out at others, she'll start wondering when that fury might be directed at her. The way you treat people around you, waiters, drivers, strangers, is a mirror. It shows her how you'll likely treat her when the mask comes off. Sophie had been seeing someone new, Daniel. He was charming, funny, and ambitious. On their third date, everything was going smoothly until a waiter brought the wrong dish. Instead of brushing it off or politely asking for a change, Daniel lost it. His tone turned sharp, his words cutting. The entire restaurant fell silent for a moment. Sophie sat frozen, watching him transform from the guy who made her laugh into someone she barely recognized. When they left, she didn't say much. But later that night, she called her best friend and said, "If he can treat a stranger like that over a small mistake, what happens when we hit a rough patch?" She never returned his calls again. It's not that she expected him to be passive. It's that she expected him to be composed, especially when it counted. Being a man means learning the art of patience. Arguments will happen. Frustration will creep in. But maturity is about how you carry that frustration. Do you slam it down on the table for everyone to see? Or do you breathe through it and pick the right time to talk? When you manage your emotions, especially your anger, you create a safe space for her. A space where she knows you won't explode, where she can be vulnerable, and where disagreements can happen without emotional violence. Anger doesn't make you powerful. Control does. And when she sees that strength in you, she won't just feel respect, she'll feel trust. 4. Surprise her and keep things interesting. A good relationship should be full of little twists and turns. Be spontaneous, try new experiences together, plan unexpected dates, or send a thoughtful message out of the blue. Keep the excitement alive and challenge her in fun ways. Relationships thrive on unpredictability and shared adventures. Relationships aren't supposed to feel like a checklist or a routine. If every date, every conversation, and every moment becomes predictable, something powerful begins to fade. Curiosity. The best relationships aren't about always knowing what's next. They're about sparking new emotions, sharing discoveries, and yes, keeping each other on their toes. Women are naturally drawn to men who can mix comfort with mystery, who offer both stability and excitement. When you surprise her, not just with gifts, but with thoughtful gestures or new experiences, you're telling her, "I see you. I think about you. I want to grow with you." Maya had been dating Liam for 6 months. He was kind, consistent and dependable, everything she thought she wanted. But somewhere along the way, things started to feel flat. Friday nights turned into takeout and Netflix. Conversations started and ended the same. One evening, as they sat silently scrolling on their phones, she whispered to herself, "Where did the spark go?" The next week, something shifted. Liam showed up at her apartment with a small note instead of a text. "Wear sneakers. Trust me." Confused but curious, Maya followed him to a local art class. They painted, laughed, and messed up their canvases together. Then they grabbed tacos from a food truck and danced under a street lamp on the sidewalk. She couldn't stop smiling. Later that night, as they sat on a park bench, she turned to him and said, "I feel like I'm falling for you all over again." It wasn't the painting or the tacos. It was the feeling, the thrill of being surprised, the joy of breaking the norm, the sense of being chosen and cherished in a creative way. And don't forget the other side of this. Challenge her. Not in a confrontational way, but in a way that makes her grow. Push her to pursue dreams she might hesitate to chase. Encourage her when she's afraid. Tease her a little. Debate ideas. Invite her into new experiences. Rock climbing, learning a language, volunteering, anything that breaks the mold. The right kind of challenge tells a woman, "I believe in your potential. I see more in you than you may see in yourself." When you surprise her with depth and challenge her with love, you don't just hold her attention, you unlock something profound. A relationship where every moment has the potential to feel new again. Please do well to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Citadel, turning on the notification button to keep getting updated every time we post an insightful content such as this. And don't forget to tell us where you are watching us from in the comment section below if this content resonates with you. 5. Give meaningful compliments. Compliments should feel special, not routine. Rather than repeating generic praise, notice the little things and point them out when she least expects it. Appreciation for her efforts and authenticity will make your words stand out and truly matter. Words can either be wallpaper or windows. Most men throw around compliments like spare change. Quick, easy, and forgettable. But a man who truly knows how to compliment a woman holds in his hands the power to make her feel seen, valued, and unforgettable. It's not about repeating the same tired phrases, "You're beautiful," "Nice dress," or "You look good today." Those are fine, but they become background noise if they're the only things you ever say. The compliments that touch a woman's heart are the ones that speak to her spirit, her effort, her uniqueness. Sarah had just started a new job. She was juggling deadlines, learning systems, and trying to prove herself. Every day she came home exhausted. Her boyfriend, David, noticed, but he didn't just say, "You're doing great." One evening, after she spent hours preparing for a presentation, David handed her a handwritten note. It read, "I watched you pour your heart into something that no one else even sees behind the scenes. That quiet determination you have, it's breathtaking. I'm proud of you." Sarah didn't say anything at first. She just stared at the note with tears forming in her eyes. Then she hugged him, silently, tightly, as if those few lines had given her enough strength to face the entire week. That's the kind of compliment that lingers. To compliment a woman meaningfully, you have to pay attention. Notice the little things, how she handles stress, how she encourages others, how she wears a color that lights up a skin tone, how she laughs when she's really happy. Notice when she steps out of her comfort zone or conquers something she's been struggling with. And here's the real secret: don't overuse it. Scarcity gives value. When you compliment her intentionally and rarely, it hits deeper. It tells her your words are earned, not handed out freely. It's not just about praising her appearance, though she'll appreciate that too. It's about appreciating her character, her growth, her effort, and the details that make her who she is. Because when you show a woman that you truly see her, not just with your eyes but with your heart, she'll never forget how you made her feel. 6. Be attentive to her needs. Sometimes it's the tiniest things, like leaving the toilet seat up, that get under her skin. These small irritations may seem trivial, but they matter. Take time to learn her preferences and pet peeves. Showing that you care enough to adjust your behavior makes a huge difference. Sometimes, it's not the big romantic gestures that win a woman's heart. It's the quiet, thoughtful moments that whisper, "I see you. I care." To truly connect with a woman, you need to learn how to tune in to her needs. That doesn't mean you have to guess everything she's thinking or walk on eggshells. But it does mean you take the time to notice the little things, even the ones she doesn't say out loud. It could be as small as putting your phone away when she's talking to you. It could be remembering that she hates cold coffee, or that she gets anxious in crowded places. These things may seem minor, but they speak volumes. Here's a story to show you how powerful this can be. Emma and Tom had been dating for a few months. Everything was going well. Dinners, movies, weekend hikes. But Emma had a small thing that often bothered her. Tom never put the toilet seat down. It wasn't a huge deal, just annoying. She never brought it up because she didn't want to sound petty. One day, she casually mentioned during a conversation about chores, "I don't know why guys never put the toilet seat down. It's like a universal thing." She laughed it off and moved on. Tom didn't say anything. But the next time she went into the bathroom, the seat was down. And the next time. And the time after that. Not once did she need to mention it again. He had heard her, really heard her, and silently made the change. That night, Emma told her best friend. He listened, not just with his ears, but with his actions. And that's the point. Considering her needs is not about being perfect. It's about being present, being aware, being the kind of man who pays attention not just to what she says, but to what she feels. So many relationships drift apart not because of dramatic betrayals or explosive fights, but because one person stopped paying attention. Don't let that be you. Ask yourself, often, is there something I could be doing to make her life easier? Am I adding peace to her world, or silently causing tension? Is there a small gesture I could make today to show I care? It's not about sacrificing yourself. It's about creating a relationship where thoughtfulness flows naturally, because her happiness becomes part of yours. Because when a woman feels considered, she feels cherished. And when she feels cherished, she stays close. 7. Be her protector, not her fighter. Stand up for her when it matters, especially when someone is being unfair. But don't be that guy who starts fights just to look tough. Protect her peace without being aggressive. And if she's wrong about something, talk about it privately. Never shame her in public. Protection isn't always about fists, muscles, or bravado. It's not about being loud or aggressive. Real protection, the kind that women actually crave, is about making her feel safe, emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's about standing up for her when she can't, or simply doesn't want to. It's about being her anchor when life feels unsteady. It's about being the kind of man who shows, without saying a word, "I've got you." Sophia was having dinner with Mark, her boyfriend, and a few of his old friends from college. Everything was going fine until one of them made a joke about women being bad drivers. It was off-color, outdated, and everyone awkwardly chuckled. Sophia just smiled politely, but Mark saw the flicker of discomfort in her eyes. He didn't make a scene. He didn't pick a fight. He simply leaned in and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "That's not funny, man. Come on." The room went quiet. The subject changed. And that was that. Later that night, as they were walking to the car, Sophia said quietly, Thank you for standing up for me. You didn't have to, but you did. That's the kind of man who knows how to protect a woman. It's not about being her savior. It's about being her safe place. Knowing when to step in and when to hold back. Protecting her from outside harm, yes, but also protecting her from unnecessary embarrassment, disrespect, or neglect. And sometimes, protection shows up in subtle, everyday ways. Keeping an eye on her as you walk through a sketchy parking lot. Pulling her in a little closer when the world feels chaotic. Letting her know that with you, she never has to shrink herself or toughen up just to feel secure. The truth is, every woman wants to feel like she's with someone who won't let the world chip away at her. Someone who sees her strength, but also honors her vulnerability. So be the man who speaks up when she's put down. Be the man who steps in when someone crosses the line. Be the man who protects not with dominance, but with dignity. Because when a woman knows she's safe with you, she opens up, trusts deeper, and loves harder. 8. Invite her into your world. Let her see your passions, your hobbies, your goals. While she may not love everything you do, sharing parts of your life can build a strong connection. Likewise, encourage her own dreams and be her biggest supporter. A man who backs her ambitions is one she'll never forget. One of the most overlooked yet powerful ways to make a woman feel deeply connected to you is by letting her into your world. It's easy to show up for dates, hold conversations, and even have fun together. But true closeness happens when you begin to share your life. Your passions, your quirks, your routines, your world. Too often, men build invisible walls around their hobbies, goals, or even friendships, believing that my space is my space. But when you invite a woman into those sacred parts of your life, it tells her one powerful message. You matter enough to see who I really am. Jake was obsessed with woodworking. Every weekend, he'd spend hours in his garage, sanding down slabs of cedar, shaping old crates into beautiful furniture. His girlfriend, Maya, knew about it, but she never really understood it. One Saturday, instead of rushing off to his usual solo session, Jake surprised her. "Wanna come help me finish this coffee table? I'll show you how to use the sander. It's pretty satisfying." Maya hesitated. "I've never even held a power tool before." He smiled. "Doesn't matter. Just want to show you something I love." That day wasn't just about the coffee table. It was about laughter, sawdust, shared stories, and Jake letting Maya see him. Calm, focused, in his element. Later, she'd tell her friends, "I fell in love with him a little more that day." That's what it means to invite her in. It doesn't mean you have to do everything together. It means offering her a front row seat to your dreams, your hustle, your silly obsessions, and even your quiet moments. Take her hiking where you find peace. Teach her your favorite childhood video game. Let her hear the music that carried you through tough seasons. Show her the part of you that lights up when you talk about your career, your future, your goals. And don't just stop there. Support her dreams too. Ask about what she's passionate about. Encourage her. Show up for her wins. Cheer for her growth. Become each other's biggest fan. When a woman feels like she's not just watching your life from the sidelines, but actually walking beside you in it, everything deepens. The trust, the intimacy, the love. Because at the end of the day, the relationships that last are built not just on romance, but on partnership. So let her in. Not just into your heart, but into your world. 9. Be a good listener. Early conversations should be light and playful, not an emotional dump. Learn how to really listen. Ask questions, be present, and pick up on her emotions. Over time, being a great listener builds trust and shows her that you value her thoughts. Listening, truly listening, is one of the most underrated yet powerful ways to make a woman feel valued. It's not just about hearing her words. It's about being present, showing her that what she says matters, and giving her the space to open up without interruption or judgment. When a man listens, really listens, it shows emotional maturity, patience, and care. And that's incredibly attractive. Ava had just started dating Ryan. On the surface, he was like every other guy she had dated. Polite, smart, well-dressed. But there was one key difference. He listened. One night over dinner, she found herself opening up about her mom's recent surgery, the stress at work, and even her childhood dog who had passed away years ago. She paused, realizing she had been rambling. "I'm sorry," she said, chuckling nervously. "I didn't mean to dump all that on you." Ryan didn't brush it off. He didn't change the subject. He leaned in and said softly, "Don't apologize. I want to know what's on your heart." Later that week, he showed up with her favorite tea, the exact brand she had mentioned once in passing, and a note that said, "For when life feels heavy." That was the moment Ava knew this wasn't just a regular connection. He had been paying attention. This is what real listening looks like. Not nodding while looking at your phone. Not waiting for your turn to talk. But making space for her thoughts, feelings, and stories. Even the messy, repetitive, emotional ones. It means catching the small details, the subtle shifts in tone, the hidden meanings between words. When she tells you about her day, don't just ask, "How was it?" Ask why it felt that way. Reflect things back to her. Ask follow-up questions that show you were present. Listening also means being okay with silence. Let her take her time. Sometimes, it takes a while before the real truth comes out. Just hold space. And remember, she may not be looking for a solution. She may not want advice. She may just want you to be there.